What up, guys? What's going on? Oh my God, guys. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm back. I'm back, guys. I'm at home today. You know how you just need like a brain break? My brain is always in strategy mode, guys, like all the time. And so I just really needed a break. I'm sitting at home, and this is the last quarter of the year. So for me, the last quarter of the year means a lot of things. It means a lot of things. I'm always in evaluation mode. I believe that the only way any of us get better is that we have to always be searching out or seeking out how to be better. And let me say this. I want to put this out there for everyone listening. When you don't like what's going on around you, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to look within first. I mean, I don't care if it's your staff, if it's your husband, if it's your mama, if it's your kids. I don't really care who it is. I want you to first look inward. Let me turn off my mini gadgets here before they start ringing. But I want you to look inward first. You know, I've been coaching now for about 3 years, formally coaching. Y'all know I've been doing this forever. I was coaching and just wasn't charging y'all, but I was coaching. And I always come to these crossroads in my life. And mine happens more than just at the end of the year, last quarter. I actually do this all the time. If I don't like the way something is going, I kind of sit back and I say, you know what, let me see what I'm doing first. What I'm doing, what I'm not doing. I always check me first. Like, is it something I did to get him the wrong impression? Is it something that I need to do different to fix what I don't like? So that's the first thing I want you all to get. But the second thing, which is what made me do this video on this topic. Now, y'all, listen to me good. You know, those of you all that watch me regularly, you know I'm an avid reader. I read a lot. And how many of you all have ever read something, or you had somebody tell you something, and maybe at that cycle of life, it was like whatever, you blew it off, and it didn't really mean a lot because it was the cycle of life you were in, and maybe it didn't focus on something that you're dealing with right then. In other words, how many of us have gotten information and at the time we got it, it meant nothing to us? But then 5 years later, 10 years later, you either hear that information again or you recall it, and all of a sudden the information has a different effect on you. You process it differently, and it's not that the information is the same. It's that you are at a different cycle of life and your perspective has shifted. So let me tell you what I'm reading. This is my fourth time, first of all, reading this book. So I wanted to call this my second revelation, but it's really my fourth. I keep getting ready to sneeze, y'all. I keep feeling like I got to sneeze. So I'm reading or rereading The Cash Flow Quadrant, which is a book that is not new. It's by Robert Kiyosaki. It's the guy that made Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that wrote that book that, you know, was on the New York Times bestsellers list forever, 10 years or something. He wrote a book not long after that. Let me get some tissue. I keep feeling like I got to sneeze. He wrote a book long after that called The Cash Flow Quadrant. If anybody has read it, throw me a heart up or something. If y'all haven't read it, you need to read it. But I will tell you, you'll only get what I'm about to say depending on the cycle of life that you're in. I read this book around when it first came out, and it just went right over my head because I wasn't ready. I didn't even understand what he was talking about. Then I read it again, and I actually did the audio book maybe 2 years later, and I got a little bit more, but I was at a different cycle of life, so my mind didn't really get it. So then let me tell you, the third time I read it, I think I actually did the third time I did the audio book again, but I actually got more out of it. So I said, let me read the book again, because it stuck with me differently, but it was a lot to absorb at one time. So I didn't fully grasp it. So now this fourth time, because the cycle of life that I'm in, and this is what I want everybody listen to me, get some paper. If I hadn't been at home, I would have had it on my board, but I'm at home, y'all. I'm cooking. I wanted some real food, y'all. I'm making salmon croquettes. I'm doing black-eyed peas and rice, and I'm cooking that kind of food today. So I just felt like some real food. So, and you know I don't do dairy, right? And I do everything low-fat, y'all. So I got like low-fat everything and dairy-free everything, and you know the spiel. So in this book, this fourth time now that I'm doing both. I actually listen to the audio, and I got the book in my hand, and I would show it to you, but it's at work. What Robert Kiyosaki breaks down, and I don't know if it's that the cycle of life that I'm in is making this so amazing to me, or if it actually is just that amazing. He breaks down people. Now, you know I teach a program called Money Does Matter, because it does, guys. I have a private Facebook page that you can become a member of. I should have put the link up, but you can go on my website. And the link is, if you go on, it's knowledgebynikki1k.com. And it's only $25 a week. And I give you these killer money videos, everything about your money to help you figure it out. So this book is really about how people view money. And what I've been able to now understand, that I was beating my head on the counter like I don't get it. When I formally started coaching, I got all these salon owners, and I say that loosely, that have started these salons 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and they're failing. Or maybe if they're not quite failing, they're not where they know they should be, or they don't know how to go to the next level, or whatever the situation is. So I was struggling with understanding and almost wanting to wring people's necks, because I didn't understand why you would open a salon. You never thought about getting employees. You never thought about what things should cost. This is my mindset, but I'm going to tell you how I've been changed. Man, I wish I would just sneeze, guys, because I keep feeling like I got to sneeze. So I really wasn't understanding. I'm like, well, why would you open a salon if you didn't want to do none of that? Or if that was never a consideration to you, that, I need employees behind all these $700 to $1,000 chairs that I didn't bought up. I need to know what I'm bringing in and what's going out. And I mean, to me, it was bare basics. I need to know how much the bills are going to be. I need to know how much the taxes are going to be. I need to maybe do some math with figuring out what I should charge for these chairs. To me, that was basic. Well, I got surprised because 90% of the people that I coached, it wasn't basic to. They literally had not even thought about what they gonna charge for rent, or if they did, they just shot a number out. They never even counted up the cost. They never did any research on area. Should I put my shop right here? Should I not? They never did any of that. And for years, guys, it baffled me. I was like, how do you go and open a business? And I know none of us think of everything. I didn't either. But how do you not think of nothing but how I look? I need it pretty, y'all. Y'all know y'all want pretty don't pay. Y'all know that, right? Pretty don't pay the bills. Y'all will be like, I need it pretty. And I need it to be right here. I need the rent to be cheap. Not even really knowing why you need the rent to be cheap. But you just want it to be cheap, right? I got people. I just did a Money Does Matter private session with a group. I didn't understand. I didn't realize. And I'm going to tell you what this book shared with me. And I got it now. I didn't realize that people didn't even know what their money was at the end of the day. It was amazing to me how many people I talked to that if I said, okay, what's today, Tuesday? If I say, what did you do Saturday? What was your total Saturday? They have no clue. I didn't get that. I was like, even the little girl on the corner that sell lemonade could go back and add up how many cups of lemonade. I didn't get it, guys. I was really struggling, guys. And I was really finding myself getting frustrated with the people I was coaching, because to me, these were bare basics. I didn't understand how you didn't understand or want to know what you did 2 days ago. So I was even finding this, guys. This is the money situation. And these are the things I'll help you with if you join this group. You got cash. See, now we got all kind of ways we get money, right? We got Cash App, we got Zelle, we got checks, we got cash, we got Apple Wallet, we got Apple Pay, we got Google Wallet, and I'm with y'all. I don't really care how you pay me. It don't matter. Just pay me however is comfortable for you. It does not matter to me. We got Quick Pay, we got, did I say Zelle? We got all this other stuff. So I get it. I get it. And I am totally in full agreement with get it how you got to get it. But what I don't understand is, how do you not write it down or put it in a system? I don't care if you write it on the napkin you ate lunch with. How do you not write down somewhere or put it in the system or in your POS system, even if it's cash, Zelle, put it in as cash. How do you not do that, right? And I'm getting ready to help you understand how I minimize this frustration I had, because I don't have it no more. But I'm telling y'all about how I felt at this time. So I did a thing. I do private sessions with at least groups of 10 where I take y'all for 8 hours, sometimes 2 days. I will make sure you know where all your money is, period. I just got a contract yesterday to do about 10 classes in one state. So maybe y'all be in that state, right? So I had a girl in this last class. She had, you got to bring me your bank statements. Now, we know that's a problem because half of y'all got money over here, you got the bank account you had when you was a teenager. You got the Cash App going there. You got the Zelle going with some account that you had maybe when you was married. Now you divorced, but you kept it. Then you got the new bank account that probably ain't even set up right. But this is the bank account your credit cards come to. So I literally got people bringing me in. When they think about it, they'll bring me in one statement. The one statement, if I look back 3 months, it'll be $10,000 in, what is this? Let's say July. It'll be for August and September, it'll be this drop of like $2,000. So I'm like, and that means that's all the deposits that went in. So I'm like, okay, what happened? The girl is like, and this girl is convinced that she lost business. So this is what really got me. She convinced that she lost business. She like, the business just wasn't coming. This is what she said, right? So I'm like, come on now. I know in the worst times, even in a slow period, people don't go from $10,000 in 1 month to $2,000 in another month unless they didn't have surgery or they ain't at work or something. So she was like, I don't know. That's why I'm here to help you, help me find out. So I just thought, I said, let me ask some questions. I said, do you have any other accounts? Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, how many? About 3 or 4. I said, okay, do you take Cash App? Do you take Zelle? Do you Apple Pay, G-Wallet? She takes all of that. This is the problem, guys. All of those things are linked up to different accounts. So that's the problem. So this girl has convinced herself that her business has dropped. It never occurred to her that maybe I need to go pull them statements too. So I had her go pull them all. Like we had a hotel, go pull them. Go down there, go open up, go in the little business room, print out all this stuff. So then she comes back, guys. Not only is the 10,000 not right, but she actually grossing, not net, about 15, 16 grand a month. But now it took 10 hours to put all this together. So I asked her, I said, okay, do you not at least write this down somewhere? Like if they Cash App you, she was straight up with me. And I wasn't, my class is cool. I ain't in there. No, it's a no judgment zone. I'm here to help you. But I'm like, do you write it down? Do you do something with it? She said, girl, I'm going to be straight up with you. I just keep moving. I just keep doing hair and letting them pay me. This is exactly what she did, y'all. She like, I just keep doing hair and letting them pay me. And I said, look, let me tell you something. While you doing all this, you're going to have to keep up with your money. Because she had a whole bunch of other pitfalls that is the reason she there, so she can fix her money, so she can fix these issues. I said, you're going to have to keep up with your money. So, this is some of the stuff that I go through. Oh, it gets worse now when I teach these classes. So, what has happened to me is I sit back after these classes and I say, God, I really want to help these people, but you got to help me. You got to help me understand what I don't see. I'm missing something. Again, I always look at me first. I don't say they all just crazy with no, because I don't believe that. I say, God, what is it that I don't see? What is it? And it was literally like I'm talking to you right now. God said, go read that book again. I didn't have that book forever. I got the book, and I had already highlighted a bunch of crap in it. But I got the book, but this time I said, I'm going to listen to the audio, and I'm going to read the book at the same time. Let me tell you what I got that I now understand. The cash flow quadrant is broken up. I wish I had my board. For those of you all that's part of my Money Matters group, they actually have a cash flow board game, cash flow quadrant board game. And they have groups all over the country. I'm going to start a cash flow quadrant group. Yes, I am. and you all will be the first that will be able to do it. So let me tell you how it's broken up. The way, and this is the perspective, the way you view money and the thing that you think first when your money's funny or when you're in trouble with money and you think, okay, I'm in trouble, I need to do this. That is what determines where you are in this quadrant. So let me break down simple terms, right? The quadrant has 4 parts. It has E for employee. It has S for self-employed, and they're on the left side. On the right side, it has big business, or B for big business owner, and then it has I for investor. So we got E, S, B, I. Now, when I say this book breaks down in dummy terms where you are and how you handle money, and this is what I now understand. The simple version of an E, which is an employee. An employee-minded person is a person that at the end of the day, they just need to get a check, period. They don't care, just somebody pay me for what it is that I'm doing. They really don't think any further than that. So what an employee-minded person, and I'm really paraphrasing this stuff here, an employee-minded person has the concept that if they ever get in money trouble, what they're going to do is they're going to go and try to find a job where somebody writes them a check or gives them some form of money that is, in their mind, secure money, is stable. I don't have to, do cartwheels and flips for this money. I just need to get me a job or a part-time job or an extra job or whatever you want to call it so that somebody could just pay me for showing up. Period. That is an employee-minded person. And I'm really, it's like hundreds of pages on this, but I'm really shortening it. So what I have started to ask people when I coach them or when I interview them for coaching, if you got in money trouble, and I'm going to break down the other 3 for you too. If you got in money trouble, your money's funny, you ain't able to pay your bills, you behind the 8 ball, how would you fix that? The minute they tell me that they would go get a part-time gig or they would increase their hours at work or do overtime or stuff like that, I automatically know they are employee-minded. And therefore, certain things that I would want to teach them, talk to them about, it's not going to sink in because their mind is not in that space. Their mind hasn't shifted. I'm not saying, no matter where you are, I'm not saying anything is wrong with this. What I'm saying is it's an eye-opener for me because now I can evaluate you and know if you're employee-minded and I'm trying to help expand you. The only way you're going to see expansion is if it's in a secure, safe, stable situation where somebody has to pay you for showing up. I already know that. Okay? So that's 1. Now I'm paraphrasing. So let's go to 2. Self-employment. That's basically the person that says, you know what? I really want to work for myself. But let me tell you what you really are. You're an employee for yourself. You just basically are doing more hours for you. And let me tell you how I know how that person thinks. That person thinks, because I was there, that person thinks, okay, I don't want to work for nobody because I got my own way of doing stuff. I want to do it my way. That's how they feel. But the difference is with this person, they still have an employee mindset, but they figure they gonna do all the work. Whenever money gets funny, they just work more hours themselves. They just say instead of 6, stylists are notorious for this. It's your shop, you got 6 chairs empty, but whenever money gets funny, you think put more pressure on you. Put more hours on your plate. Because people with a self-employed mentality believe that can't nobody really get it done like them. Nobody can make it happen like them. I was there. I get it. So they spend their hours still working as an employee, but they're the ones exerting all the energy, trying to make all the moves. Never even a consideration of anybody else doing anything. And if you try, they ain't gonna never do it good enough for you. So I got it. A self-employed person also is in the position where if they are unable to work, their business and everything they got shuts down. They're done. No money comes in if they can't produce. Their business is totally surrounded around them and what they do. And if any glitches come, they break their finger, they break their wrist, they break whatever it is, they're done. And their mindset will not allow them to go beyond that. They struggle with delegation. I was there, trust me. They delegating, they want to, but it's a release of control. It's a release of this is my baby and can't nobody take care of my baby like me. And so I'm just going to have to do it. That's why you got so many salon owners that cannot relinquish the ranks of getting from behind their chair and letting other people do the work and leveraging other people's money. That mentally, and it has nothing to do with their ability. It's mentally, they cannot make the shift. They can't. They like, no, because if I step away, it ain't going to be right. And I say we because I was there. Oh, I ain't there no more. They are in the place where if I am not here, all hell going to break loose. If I do not produce it, all hell going to break loose. And this is what I'm learning, guys. And before I go to the other two, I'm learning that I got a whole bunch of people that I'm coaching that are in one of these two parts of the quadrant. They either employee mentality, where an employee is just so you know, they only gonna do so much. They believe that I just should get paid for showing up, or these are people that feel like somebody's supposed to give them something. So they don't care if they milk time. How many of us know people that work at a job where they don't understand that if you on the clock 8 hours minus lunch, you're really supposed to be working 7 of them. And if they work all 7 hours, they act like the job didn't just kill them. Like, how dare they have me working this hard? Well, you got paid for it. That's why. An employee-minded person is never going to do anything extra. And if they do, they're going to want dollar for dollar. That's an employee-minded person. Self-employed person, they'll do the work. They hustlers, they grinders, but they have opened these businesses. And they have not ever really thought about other people filtering into the pot. Even though they got chairs, even though they got all this other stuff that's set up for other people. But if this is your mindset, and I don't care how beautiful the salon is, if you don't shift, you're going to be there for the rest of your natural life. You're going to kill yourself, burn out, be done, and you're not going to be able to have this dream of this salon ownership realized, okay? So now let me go to big business. Big business, that's the B on the right side of the quadrant. He talks about it. He said, now this is when you have evolved from self-employment to now big business. This is when now you fully understand I ain't got to do all the work, nor do I want to do all the work. This is when you start literally strategizing and saying, before you open that shop, I ain't even opening the doors until I got people to fill these chairs. I'm at 32 years in this game. At my 30th year was when, maybe my 29th year was when I didn't know this is what I was evolving to, but it was when I really got it that, Nick, you don't have to do all the work. I done planted enough seeds. I done trained enough people. I don't want to do everything anymore. That's when I learned how to delegate. Big business mindset is where now you have learned how to pass not some of the work. That's when now I don't want to do all the hair. I don't want to do no hair. Matter of fact, I don't want to do my social media. I don't want to even do my website. I don't want to do nothing if I don't have to. And in big business, what it does is it frees the visionary up to keep building things so everybody got a job. But this is the key. This is the key, y'all. Listen to me. The only way you could evolve from self-employment to big business is through the use of transferable infallible systems. If you do not have a system in place, you will never be a big business owner, because it only is going to function when the system is where you could walk away and somebody could do exactly what you did because they just following the system. They don't have to be you. But what they do have to know is what the system requires, what's first, what's second, what's third, how this go if something go haywire. You have the only way to evolve from here to here is you got to take all this stuff we learn in this self-employment mode, and you got to package it up, and you may have to pay people to help you do this. You got to package that thing up. You got to get somebody who thinks this way to help you set up transfer. That's where franchises come in. You cannot franchise your concept. And even if you're not trying to franchise, if you want somebody to do what you did or to be you in your absence, and you can go on vacation and not worry about if you're going to make money, if the business is going to crash, you have got to spend time. And there's nothing easy about it. You got to spend time developing management training systems. I know y'all don't even want to train a shampoo girl. Then how you going to have a system? The reason I say I didn't understand is because I've always had a big business mentality, even though I was operating kind of straddling in a self-employment mode. When I started, every salon I've ever had, I ain't never opened no salon without the chairs full. I don't believe in that. I'm like, what I'm doing that for? I ain't in here trying to do all the work, but I still had to evolve out of thinking that only I could do it to this excellence. Oh, I got over that real quick. I got over that. I said, no, because I'm getting too old for that. I can't do 17 hours no more. I was doing 17 hours, 5 and 6 days a week for 15 straight years. Done and done. As they say, stick a fork in me, I'm done. But now what I've spent time with, I've spent time in the last probably 5 years trying to develop systems that are tweaked so that if I leave, I now have to spend the time training, letting people into my world, helping them understand how I think, what I think about how I even got to this place, so they can then understand how this system needs to work, where it needs to work, how it needs to be set up, how you need to handle problems, whatever it is. I have spent time, and let me tell you the thing that I realized that's amazing is when I did what T.D. Jakes says. T.D. Jakes says in his Instinct book, which he wrote years ago, he said the minute his life and his business changed was the minute he learned and accepted where his weaknesses were. My weaknesses are in administration. I do it, but I'm going to make a whole bunch of errors because I don't want to do it. It's not a natural gift of mine. And organizational systems. You know why I struggle in organizational systems and I had to pay somebody to help me do this? Because there are 10 types of leaders. And if you all want to know what they are, just go online. You can put in 10 different types of leaders. I am what you call a transformational leader. That is what I am. Transformational leaders, we totally rely on our instincts to move. We totally rely on, we understand energy, we can feel it, we know it. We know when it's time to shift while everybody's sitting around. We know when it's time to do this, do that. We'll shift the whole program if we have to. So the fact that I'm naturally a transformational leader, which I understand now is a gift, but the flip side of it is when you're transformational and you work off of instincts, which is what I do. Transformational leader, by the way, for some of y'all that don't know, a transformational leader is a person that my focus is not just about one person. My focus is broader. My focus is about changing an entire system, changing an entire culture, changing the way a whole generation thinks, responds, reacts. It ain't about just one for one. It's about the whole. I'm the Martin Luther King in this thing. And I believe flat-footed that my people, black people, urban people, we have got to get better when it comes to our money. I'm tired of GoFundMe's for people dying and you can get a $10,000 term policy for $12 a month. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of us looking good, smelling good, all this other stuff, but we ain't got a dime to our names. I'm sick of it. I ain't helping to bury nobody no more. I'm not doing it. So I said, God, I need to help fix this problem. I'm tired of seeing my hairstylist. I'm tired of seeing us in our careers probably making millions of dollars, but we ain't got a dime nowhere. And then all of us run around here, my saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled people, and want to quote scripture. Well, did you miss the one about how God talks about leaving an inheritance for your children's children? Did you miss that one? Because you can't do that if you steady spending your money on stupid stuff. Now, I believe in living. I don't have no problem with people buying nice stuff, but at the end of the day, you have to live based off of what you can afford. Now, this is the one thing I will say, though. If you at a place in life and you want to live bigger, you also got to change your language. And this is something also that changes from self-employed to big business. Robert Kiyosaki says it best. He said, instead of you saying, I can't afford it, you'll change that and say, how can I afford it? That's what I want. So what do I need to do? I can't buy it right now, but how can I afford it? Not I can't afford it, how can I? And then you'll start looking into ways. And also, if a big business person, if they get into money trouble, oh no, they ain't going to put no extra hours in. That's not happening. A big business person's like, oh no. I ain't going to work no more hours. What I'm about to do is I'm about to tweak these systems. I'm about to maybe take on another digital platform. I'm about to take on something else that's going to make me some more money that I ain't got to do. I ain't got to do it. That's how your whole mindset, well, how you handle stress, how you handle money, how you handle people. And let me tell you something also. You know how you also know whether you're employee-minded, self-employed, or big business? I ain't even got to invest it yet. People in these two areas of the quadrant. This is from Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant that I done read 4 or 5 times, but it's this whole new revelation this last time I read it. In the E quadrant, especially, and some people in the S quadrant, they have a total disdain for people who in their mind don't work. When they see people sitting back, they hate white collar workers. They straight up blue collar thinkers. Employee-minded people believe that people that's over here in big business don't do nothing. They have a disdain for rich people. They have a disdain, they want it, but they have a disdain for wealth. They actually shun, they think rich people are lazy. That you will find, and I promise you, you talk to them long enough, they will have a very type of feeling about people that's got money. Although they admire them from afar, they're intimidated by them, and they actually don't like them. If you take a person over here in an employee mindset, or even some people in self-employment mindset that don't have the ability yet to shift, if you take them and put them in an environment where all rich people or wealthy or just people doing all right, they will go back and sit in a corner. They won't try to jump in and learn some stuff because it just makes them extremely uncomfortable. Instead of them saying, let me learn how they did it. Now, a self-employed person that wants to get to big business, that's the person that's going to want to be the dumbest one in the group. Let me sit around these people that's got real money. Not red bottom shoes and live in the hood. Got real money. They want to sit and they want to hear and they ask questions. People that go from self-employment to big business, they ask questions. They say, I know I can do it too. So can y'all tell me that they generally don't struggle with pride as much as people in the employment aspect and in the self-employment, because they know in order to learn, in order to be big business, and God knows an investor like them on Shark Tank, you got to let somebody know that you don't know. You got to be what I call the conscious incompetent. There are 3 types of people in business. There's those that are unconsciously incompetent. They don't even know they don't know. Then you got the conscious incompetent. They know they don't know. And then you have the conscious competent, people who know and they can help you to know. So you got to be in that middle. Now let's get to, and big business, like I said, big business, they gonna respond, I ain't doing that. Okay, money tight. Okay, they automatically are thinking about systems, structures, adding a digital program to the platform. Now, let's say I'll take our industry. Let's say we do educational training at trade shows, classes, stuff that I've done for years. Now they say, I tell you what, I'm tired of running all over. I'm about to pay for one of these online programs. I'm about to pay for some virtual training. So and let me tell you something. When they get serious in that, I'll tell y'all who I just paid for. Lightspeed VT. And it ain't nothing cheap about them. But the virtual training platform is so off the chain that literally the person is talking to you and they may mess around and say, so how you like so-and-so? If you don't answer, they will freeze. If you don't push something on that screen, it'll freeze and say, so-and-so, say your name. Did you hear me talking to you? I'm talking to you. It is the most interactive form of training I have ever seen in my life. So not only did I have to pay for that, and it wasn't no cakewalk, I had to pay for that. I also had to pay for a videographer, a content creator, somebody to do all this video footage, and then I had to pay somebody to lay it out and put it in the system. I can't even tell y'all how much that is, but guess what? Because I'm big business minded. Big business minded people, all we think about, I'm out of that self-employment thing. All we think about is leveraging what we already have, whether it's people, whether it's ideas. We realize everything we have is valuable. Everything. If you got some information you know people need it, put it in writing, put it in a digital format, let people download it, and we believe everything could be monetized. Everything. There is nothing that can't be monetized. That's a whole different way of thinking. So let me tell you what I figured out before I go to investor. I have figured out that I'm spending all this energy and time and effort and all this other stuff. And let me say this too. When you big business minded, you read. You read. Did y'all know that? When you are big business minded, you understand the importance of reading. I know y'all done heard that 1,000 times, but it's the truth. Leaders read. If you don't read, you cannot acquire knowledge if you don't read. You can't go to a seminar every day. You can't go to a seminar. Some of these in business seminars, they high. They not cheap. So you got to embrace reading. Audible, actually the book on the Kindle still. I still see people on airports with that. Or you got to pick up a book. One or the other. Or all of that. Okay? So what I started realizing, that's where I was going before I thought of that. What I started understanding, guys, I said, you know what? This is why I'm fighting with people. I'm fighting with them because I got employee minded, I got self-employment minded, and they have taken on a big business concept, but this is why I'm struggling with them, because I'm trying to get them to realize you stepped out and did this, but you still think right here. And that's why you ain't got no chairs in your shop. That's why you don't have no chairs full. That's why everything you do, instead of you spending money to go and figure out how to market and get these chairs full, you rather go spend $3,500, $4,000, and it's no diss to people in trichology because I love y'all, but you rather go spend $4,000 on a trichology course, which means you got to do more work. And for years, I struggle with, I'm not understanding. How do you not see this as being priority? This book changed and I'm summing it up, guys. Y'all read it. You're going to get a whole lot more than what I'm saying. I realized that I'm expecting people to have a big business or the B mindset because I'm thinking, well, you're the one who got this shop. You're the one who decided you wanted to have 29 chairs. You're the one who decided to do this, and you call me to help you fix it. But realistically, you ain't here yet. Some of y'all ain't even in the S yet. You still employee minded. You're still there. So this is where I realized my struggles are with a lot of the people that I coach. I'm like, because y'all got to help me. I'm like, I literally say, God, you got to help me see what I don't see, because I actually have been big business minded from day one. I got caught up in the rat race of self-employment, but I knew that wasn't the way it's going to end for me. I had employees in the door. So I realized because I came from a certain way of thinking, and it had a lot to do with the people that I was around. Not all of them, but a lot of the people that I was around in my younger years for longer periods of time. My ex-husband's family, which I got to give it up. I now understand all those seeds they were planting that I didn't realize I was absorbing. I dated him off and on from 14 up until we got married, and then we stayed married for 11, 12, something like that years. His family, all they talked about was investing, money, stocks, IRAs, Christmas dinner. That's what it was about. We just talk about that kind of stuff. And I didn't know what to say, so I'm listening. I didn't realize the advantage I had at 16, 17, into my 20s, sitting around black people who talked about money differently. I didn't know how much of that I was taking in and absorbing and understanding. And I didn't know I understood. It's almost like you sit under your mom, and your grandmama is a great cook, and they never actually sat down and said, okay, we're going to have a cooking lesson. But you find yourself when you get out on your own, you automatically seem to know how to fix certain stuff. And you ask yourself, like, where did I learn that? You learned it because you was taking it in even when you didn't think you were. And so and then I started in a full black commission corporate life, but more black people corporate. So it was very loving and nurturing. I started off in a salon where, in my opinion, I saw it done right. I didn't see people hustling. I saw people actually doing business. I started off on commission. I didn't start off on booth rental, but their prices were so high, we probably made more money on commission back then than y'all make booth rental now, taking your own money in. It was nothing for 12 of us to have a $2,500, $3,000 check at the end of the week, our part, commission, because their pricing structure was higher. So I never understood about low prices. I didn't have that point of reference. So, and then I came from a totally structured household where I'm an only child. But my mama was like, no, baby, you just because you got a cold, you go to school. You don't stay home. My mother told me the minute I decided to start working, okay, understand this. Work is a responsibility. You don't quit a job unless you got another one. I don't want to hear that I'm sick, I don't feel well. You go to work when you don't feel well. That is not a reason to stay home. So I didn't miss a day school. When I was in high school, I came from structure and discipline. And so I didn't have any other point of reference. And even though I did some stupid stuff, God knows I did. When I was in my 20s and 30s, we still go off the reservation and do some dumb stuff. But I realized that I understood something I didn't understand. So I started very differently. And my heart breaks when I see so many of you and you give me your history of where you started and that was jacked up. And then you went to another shop and that was jacked up. And then you went to another one. Some people ain't never seen it done right. So this is what I say to you. Just because you ain't never seen it don't mean you can't turn the corner. It doesn't mean you cannot shift. You cannot learn. You cannot go to people who can help you. But one thing you got to get out the way is pride. If you know your stuff is jacked up, you need to get somebody who can help you fix it. Don't stay there and say, oh, well, I don't want nobody to know. Yeah, I got this shop and I'm looking good and smelling good, but little do they know that I'm on the verge of bankruptcy. You got to get to the point. I don't care what people think. I don't care what people say. The way I got my life from being in a $483,000 deficit, which was 2005-ish. The way I got my life from being in the hole to being on the other side was because I said, screw people, screw this, Look, when I say I got gazelle focused, as Dave Ramsey says, I didn't care. I didn't care what I had to give up. Look, I will eat tuna every day. I will cook food. I ain't buying no Starbucks. Whatever I had to give up, I went to everybody that I could halfway afford. I don't have a lot of money because I'm in the hole, but I need y'all to help me. I need help with understanding what I clearly don't understand. I had a conversation with one of my coaches yesterday. And I went through this with her. We had a 90-minute coaching call. And, I've been there. She was like, Nick, my accounting is negative and this, and that. And the thing that I told her, because she said something to me that hurt my heart. She said, well, it's in the negative, but this is pretty normal to me. I said, how dare you say your account being in the negative, how dare you accept that as normal? How dare you say, well, it's like it always is? That's not okay. I said, let me tell you something. And I don't mind being transparent. Y'all know this. I said, let me tell you something. I done been in check systems twice. For Bank of America, for Chase, for letting my account get in the negative, letting them close the account. I knew you had 30 days before you go get another account, before you couldn't get one. I played that game for years. I said, let me tell you. And when I woke up and I said, no more. I said, having a NSF is not negotiable for me. I shifted the way that I thought. I said, I ain't having no more bad checks ever. That was in 2009. I ain't had one since. I said, no. I said, you got to get in your mind that having an NSF going charging you $36, and you're only going to ask them so many times to give you a courtesy forgoing of this money. You got to get in your mind that's not acceptable. That's not okay. So I told her she still owed me. I didn't care. I said, don't worry about that. I'm good. I said, God, let me go through it so I can show you how to get out of it. Don't worry about paying me. We'll square up later. But you will not sit in this position and say it's it's just normal. It's always in the red. No, you will not. So I told her what to do. This what we gonna do. You gonna give me every statement, everything you got from January. You talking about you don't know where your money is going? I'm going to show you where it's going. Because the reason you keep ending up back here is because your money is going somewhere or you're living beyond what your money can afford, or both. I said, give me everything from January. I said, how to email it, give it to me. I'm going to comb through it. I'm going to show you exactly what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. Let me see your totals. I'm playing accountant, and I ain't no accountant. But I can see what come in and what go out and where the deficiencies are. I said, don't worry about me. We good. Square up later. You ain't going nowhere. This girl don't avoid me if she can't pay. She always hit me up like I cash apped you what I had. I told her I admire you for just trying to stay connected. I said, I don't care about that. Whatever with that. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to take your money. Whatever. Send what you can when you can. We ain't worried about that. But this cannot be your new normal. It can't be normal. And if you keep having that attitude of being normal, and then she kept, before I got her mind shifted, every time I would say something, it would be like, well, but I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear, but I have this, and this is, I don't want to hear that. You ain't got to be in the negative. That's not okay. So I'm going to fix that for her. We're going to figure that out. And I told her, I said, girl, please, I've been in check systems twice. You be in check systems for 4-5 years. I said, I've been in there twice and couldn't get a bank account. I said, so you ain't telling me nothing I don't know. That robbing Peter to pay Paul, that all you looking at is what's in the account right now. You done forgot you got this coming out and that coming out. And we have got to do better, guys. We got to do better. I decided, I said, God, until the day I die, I'm going to tell you what Simon Sinek says. And I get it now. He just had a new book I ordered forever ago called The Infinite Games. The book, I ain't even read it, but I love Simon Sinek because I believe in everything he believes in. This book is about understanding that the game of business and the game of life, there is no finish line. You have to have a growth mentality so that you can keep moving. There is no such thing like the average black person think is that we gonna actually get to a place and we gonna retire and we just gonna go sit down somewhere. In life, that ain't the case. If you started a business, it ain't no end point. As soon as something else goes and gets to where you got to be working on something else really before that. It's called The Infinite Games. But he says this. He did in his TED Talks, which is, I think, the 3rd most watched TED Talks of all times. It's absolutely phenomenal. So if you all want to go on TED Talks on YouTube, put in Simon Sinek. It's an 18-minute speech. It's phenomenal. But he said something that I now also understand. He said, how many of you know what a just cause is? You say, if you're working for a just cause or if you're doing something for a just cause, how many of you all really know what that is? And we kind of know, but we don't know. And he said, if you think about everybody in history, I don't care who you take, Martin Luther King, whatever, whoever, a just cause, something, and all of us are looking for purpose, something that is worth fighting for. Something that you stand so flat-footed on, you probably will not live to see it come into full fruition. A just cause is something you will die for. A just cause is something that you ain't looking for the goal line. You just want to start the conversation. You want to help people understand how we can't let this happen no more. We can't do this no more. Whatever it is, I recognize that this cause, this mantle that I have stood on with helping my people, and I'm talking black and brown people, helping my people understand how we cannot live like this anymore. Not in this beauty business, not in our homes, not in nothing. And we gotta stop taking the easy way out. I realized that is a cause I had no clue God was gonna allow me to evolve into this space. Who knew? And it was a system of things that happened, and I've already talked about that on one of these Facebook Lives, and I didn't know that I was gonna end up here. But I now know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I will stand on top of Mount Everest and scream until the day I die that my black people have got to do better when it comes to their money. It breaks my heart to see people get old and have to find a job. And I know how much money we make in this business. And we literally getting to a stage where we can't do 17 hours more. We can't do 15. We can't, and we just don't even seek out what else to do. We just stay stuck. So let me tell you what I took it a step further. I will be 50 years old Sunday, October 20th, will be my 50th birthday. And to God be the glory for getting me. I had an image of where I wanted to be when I was 16 years old. And even though I had a good background, because I got my own way of doing stuff, and I got off and I forgot how I got here. I forgot who kept me. And so I went off. I told God, forget you too. I'm doing my own thing. I got this. God said, okay. And he let me fall, and he let me fall hard. And so in that fall, I had to dust myself off, and I had to cry, and I had to figure some things out. And I call it my 7 years of consecration. Still the best 7 years of my life. It was me and God. I said, okay, God, for real. You didn't pull the rug from under me, and I get it. But what do I need to do? So in that 7 years, I learned a lot about me. I pushed pause on some things so I could focus. Let me focus. Let me get this thing right, because I'm not ending up here no more. I'm just not going to do that. And so I said, help me fix this, learn. If it's any pride, let it go out the window. Let me get this right, and let me be a champion for the people who want to learn it, want to get it. I don't care how they get it. And I realize it's time, and you got to be at different places in your life where you accept certain things. I get it. I don't make nobody try to learn stuff or make them do it. Like Ayana says, I can push you, but I can't pull you. That's where I am in life. But I realize we don't know where our power lies when we don't have the information. So it's no fluke that my company is called Knowledge by Nikki. It's an information company. I get the information, whether it's through life or through reading it or through learning it, and I pass it on. That's what I do. And I just am tired of seeing my people who got so much skill set just literally die or get to the end of the road in this industry and have nothing. So I went through this phase about a year ago where I started becoming even more interested in slavery. And this is where I'm going with my birthday Sunday. I've always been a person that loved watching movies dealing with slavery and trying to understand where we came from and how did we get this mindset and where did this come from? Because I do believe that any generation, you look at Asians, you look at Hispanics, there's a cultural or a culture when it comes to work that all of them and us have differently. And I always wonder, where did this come from? Because it don't matter whether you're in Chicago or Philly. So I wanted to know more about slavery. So I started reading a lot of books, a lot of things on slavery, trying to understand where did this oppressed mentality come from? Why is it that when it comes to entrepreneurship or when it comes to black people, really looking at business differently. Why is it that the ones of us that have business, why do we think it's okay to talk to people however and to have poor customer service? Why has this become normal for our black businesses? So I'm just observing all this stuff. So I made a decision. People ask me what I wanted for my birthday. I don't want nothing. It ain't nothing nobody could buy me. If I want it, I go buy it. It ain't that big of a deal to me. I ain't missed it. Look, I done had cars, furs, jewelry, diamonds. I done had all that. So at this point, just tell me happy birthday and keep it moving. But what I did want to do, I have wanted to go to the African American Museum in DC since it's been open. And I wasn't able to go. The timing just always wasn't right. The times of the year where you got to reserve. And so I asked, anybody want to go? So I am going to spend 7 hours Monday, the day after my birthday, at the African American Museum. I'm going to fly out that morning. Nobody wanted to go. All right, that's cool. I go by myself. It don't matter. I'm going to the African American Museum. I'm going to get it there at 10. They open at 10. I think my plane drops down at like 8 something. I'm going to get there at 10. They open from 10 to 5 during this time of year. And they have now where you can walk in. It's considered off-peak season. So you can walk in. You buy your tickets there. Or it's free, actually. But you can walk in. You don't have to reserve. And I just need to understand. I need to understand how we got here. I need to better understand cash flow quadrant. I'm still going to go into the I. It helped me understand why I'm struggling with people. It's because of their mindset. It's because this is how they naturally think. And I'm trying to get them to think like this, but it's not natural. They haven't shifted there yet. And on top of that, as a people, we are naturally brawn people. We are naturally people that think a real job is something that you actually have to tarry at. We think unless you sweating, unless you standing, unless you pushing or pulling or lifting or slinging mail, that's what we call it, that you are not really working. Where did that come from? Because I got my Asian friends who think totally different. For centuries, they've been taught since the day they could breathe that you only work for people as long as you have to. They're taught to have a big business and investor mentality from the day they could crawl. And now, centuries later, we wonder why they triumph in different business concepts, why their even academics are what they have literally bred their people in an excellence way of thinking, in a you buy from your own. There's a saying that some of I got Vietnamese, Korean, Chinese, and I had to remember who's who, but I got all these people that I deal with, and they have a saying, I don't remember which one it was, but they said, when you think about economics, your money has to go through your own people, your own businesses 15 times before it goes out. You hear that? 15 times. They are conscious of that. If we started, Vietnamese who does the nails, if we started a whole black system of doing nails, you think they sit in our chair? Absolutely not. They don't care how good we do what we do, but we sit in theirs all the time. I have now evolved into I get my nails done by a black girl, and I don't care if she can't take me, then they just won't get done. I have developed and evolved into a place of consciousness where I believe one man could change the world. I believe that. We've seen it. I believe one man, one person, one woman can start the conversation, and those that are ready to shift will join arms with him or her, and we will create a movement that will subsequently change the world. We may not live to see it, but we'll know that we left our mark, and we'll know that, as Steve Harvey says, we moved the needle a little bit. So now let's go to investors. For all of y'all that get mad at Donald Trump, I think he's crazy too. But y'all get mad at him because he ain't paid taxes. Let me tell you what I learned. While all y'all was getting mad at Donald because he don't pay taxes and people talking about he taking this and that, yeah, he crazy now. I didn't vote for him either, so I get it. But instead of me getting mad, I said I want to know how he do it. How do you do that? How do you get from? How do the rich people not pay taxes? What is the strategy to that? This book, Cash Flow Quadrant, which this is the 4th or 5th time I read it, y'all, it broke it down. He said in the I quadrant, It is where they no longer are making money through what's called ordinary income. That means your wages. Somebody paid you for something. They paid me for coaching. They paid me for doing their hair, whatever. Now it is where they have acquired assets, and their assets are making them money. Your assets are taxed differently or not taxed at all, depending on what you have as an asset. So for instance, you buy a four multiplex or multifamily unit building. You're going to get, and I ain't going into all the capital gains and all, that's a whole nother conversation. See, join my Money Does Matter group and we talk about this kind of stuff. And it's $25 a week, so I want to hear none of y'all say y'all can't afford it. Hit me up. Somebody put this on the screen for me because I didn't put the link up. I forgot, y'all. It's 800-580-8074. If you want to get the link to know how to get in that group. It's $100 a month, y'all. You ain't going to beat that with a stick, okay? But if you got a 4-unit building, and a 4-unit building is going to get taxed differently than a 100-unit apartment complex. And so when people get into investment-minded stuff, that means while they're in this B quadrant, they have learned that all of the money they gain from leveraging their systems, whether it be franchising or from leveraging what other people do, they understand that needs to turn into assets. They need to invest that in something that is not considered any longer on a tax document as ordinary income. Because as ordinary income, you're going to fall in this tax bracket. But now when I got buildings and apartments and other commercial buildings, if I own a chain of salons, a chain of suites, if I now have things that are not ordinary income, but they are assets that increase my net worth and make me money, a bank looks at you 100% differently now. Your net worth then went through the ceiling. You now get offered programs where now you got a 100-unit building. The government will say, okay, we're going to pay you for 10% of that to go towards this group or that group. And because of that, you get all these tax breaks. It's just a money game, guys. And I am up for learning it. I ain't tripping. I'm like, because I don't want to pay all this in taxes. So I'm giving you the simple version. But when you get to that mindset where you have went from big business owner, meaning I own all this stuff and I just, have people that manage people and people that manage those people and all of that, I ain't doing all the work no more. I'm done with that. That's when you start realizing I need to invest in a product line. I need to invest in this. I need to invest in things from the money that I have gained from the ordinary income. I need to put that into stuff that is going to become assets that has residual income, passive income, which are not the same. I need to now be able to do that. And guess what? You will find that your tax liability gets lower and lower and lower and lower. So don't get mad at these rich people for not paying no taxes. They just didn't figure out how to work the system. Don't get mad at them. Because y'all was all mad. People was all mad about Donald not paying. I said, look, Donald, yeah, he's a nut. And I'll be glad when he gone. But I want to know how he not paying no taxes. While y'all tripping, somebody tell me what is he doing? Because I want to know that. And be honest, we sick of paying Uncle Sam all this money. Your tax bracket is high because it's all ordinary. Look, get the book. I swear if I could be a poster child for this book. And it's crazy because it ain't the first time I read it. But this book, The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, the man that made Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it now has lowered my expectations of what I now want people to do, to think. So now, guess what I do, y'all? When I go into interviewing for coaching, that is one of the questions now on my coaching interview criteria. Or I ask it if it's a verbal interview. If I give a scenario, a money scenario, if something happened, and I got all kinds of scenarios that I use, and you realize that you did not any longer have the income to support X, Y, Z, and you almost on the brink of bankruptcy, you're about to lose your house, your shop, your whatever, what would you do? The way people answer that question automatically tells me where they are. It's beautiful. I said if I didn't get nothing else from this book, I now understand why I wasn't understanding these people in this position. My people, my stylists, my salon. You in this position. What do you want me to do? And I'm fighting with them. And I ain't gonna fight with you too long. That's not gonna happen. But now I get it. I fully understand why some of us, should have never opened a shop, period. If you are thinking right now of opening a salon and you are not in that big business, the B mentality, don't open one. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because you mentally are not ready to do what it requires to run that business. And if you open one anyway, just for you, just go get a suite. If you don't want to work for nobody and you want to do your own thing, they got suites now. I just left Stonecrest Suites in Atlanta. They call it a quadruple in there. I looked at this suite. You can get 5 or 6 people in here. I said, this is the biggest doggone suite I ever seen in my life. So my thing is, if you don't want to work by yourself, but you don't really want to facilitate all that it requires for other people to work instead of you, and you make your money that way, then for those of y'all that got one, you might need to sell it. And for those of y'all that want one, you need to go to a suite. You need to go somewhere where maybe you and one other person, if you don't want back by yourself, you need to stay in something small. Don't put yourself in a position where you got all these chairs and all. For what? It's a mindset that comes when you go to a different level. And if you ain't there, don't put yourself there. That's all I'm going to say today. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I thank God for the awakening, for the revelation. I promise y'all, I was like, I'm getting mad, y'all. I was like, look, I ain't coaching stylists no more. I'm going to go get me some restaurant owners, and I'm going to go get some personal trainers. I actually do have some of them. And I was like, because I don't understand. I didn't understand how you open. I didn't. How you open a shop and you don't think about none of this stuff. Now I understand. You probably never should have opened it. Because if your mind wasn't already there, then you shouldn't have put yourself in a position to have all these extra bills. You're just paying extra bills. And you have no real desire to actually do what's required to work a big business concept. Okay? You can always go get another shop. So downsize if you need to. If you're ready to do it, holla at me. Knowledge by Nikki, 1K.com. Sign up for coaching. It's going to send you to actually, it's going to give you my phone number that I just saw. I think Nicole put it up. Thank you, Nicole. 800-580-8074. I get you together. I'm a business development coach, y'all. I'm not a life coach. I ain't no life coach. I don't even know if I have the emotional capacity for a life coach because I'm an action coach. Life coaches deal with your past. Business strategists or business development coaches, we deal with your future. I'm a success coach. I deal with your future. I deal with where you're going. Now, obviously, sometimes we got to pick up a little bit of that because I got to understand how you got here, but we don't dwell there. I take you from where you are and I help you shift into whatever the next chapter of your life is. That's what I do. I do have people that do life coaching that work with me. So if there's some things we got to break through first before we can get you there, not a problem. I'll refer you to them. Okay, but I'm there when you're ready to move. I'm there when you're ready to shift. Your mind is there, but you just don't have the information. I got you. So text me at 800-580-8074, or you can go on my website at Knowledge by Nikki. That's NIKI1K.com. And I'm getting ready to finish cooking my salmon croquettes and my rice and broccoli and black-eyed peas. And I felt like real food today. But you know I don't do dairy and I got to do vegan everything, so you know it's with a twist, y'all. But I'm getting ready to get it cracking. I love my video audience. I hope this video helped you. If some of you all have salons and you got employees that you're big business minded, but they're employee minded, or either self-employee minded, let me tell you what's gonna happen. The ones that are self-employment minded, they only gonna be with you for a minute. You know that, right? They're not going to stay with you long because the way you do it ain't the way they think it should be done. They'll never think what you do is the right way. So plan on them leaving your establishment soon. Whether they tell you or not, they're going to be out of there. The employee people going to stay with you forever, but they ain't going to do nothing extra. Those are the people that walk in the bathroom and see stuff everywhere, and they walk right out and say, ain't my spot, ain't mine. They have what's called the endowment effect. Y'all look that up. That's an employee-minded person that'll walk past something that's about to blow up in their place of work, and they'll keep walking and won't even say nothing because it ain't theirs. They don't care. They just there to get a check. They don't care. And just so you know what you're dealing with, read the book. It'll break it down in a way, and I promise y'all, I'm going to start me a cash flow quadrant club. They got them all over the United States. I didn't know. Because this will help us understand where we are, where we need to be, who we dealing with, etc. So enjoy. Rewatch this if you need some more info. Again, hit me up, knowledgebynikki.com or 1-800-580-8074. Deuces.